Hello friends, good evening to all of you and welcome to JTC India YouTube live classes. So all of you get connected fastly so that we can start the class. Share it fastly. Now here, yesterday we were talking about the different types of, or that was the block, and in that many different things we have discussed. What was that? It was the block. Here we are talking about block, and this is what we were discussing yesterday, that what exactly block is. So especially in that we have discussed two different types of block, which is an instance block as well as the static block. Instance block and static block. Fine, it is. Out of these two block, which is an instance as well as the static block, guys say once hi in your comment box so that we can see how many of you are coming live. Okay. Fine. So we were talking about that was the instance block and static block, how and when instance block is being processed and when static block is being processed. All that we have already discussed, we have gone through that, right? So if you guys are having any kind of questions from that previous all classes, you can please ask. If you have any kind of questions, any doubts from that, then you can please ask. No questions, or do you have any questions? Any questions from the last classes? Okay, maybe you don't have that. So we'll do one thing. We'll write one example on the aptitude class was not there because of sir is not feeling well today, and he was not well, and that's why aptitude class was not there. And that message I have already updated on the community tab in YouTube itself. If you will go on our channel, so there is one tab, community tab, in that already I have updated it, so you all would have seen it inside this. Fine. So he'll be again continuing from the Monday onwards, he will start the class. Fine. So as we were talking about, instance as well as the static block, and lots of number of different kinds of concepts, students, we have discussed here. Fine. And okay, any other question from anyone? No questions? Okay. So let me write one more example based on your instance block as well as the static block and other things also. There are again the number of things we have, and on all of them just we are going to discuss all these sort of things, all this type of things here, right? So let me explain you how and what all different type of things which we are going to see. Let's understand it inside this. Just switch to the screen. Here in this, okay, now let's write one example on the basis of the previous classes, whatever we are having, whatever we have discussed. I have explained yesterday all the things on the board, and now we will discuss all this sort of things on your examples we will discuss. Here, let me write it here, let me show it to you. Well, when I am writing a class, first, see here, one class I have written inside this, and in this class, we may have some kind of, you can say that is the instance block. We are writing something called as the instance block, which is IB in class as in hello. And similarly, here one more thing I am writing, it's an static block as I am going to write here. So, well, I will write SB in hello, static block in hello, and here, well, I am writing that is the static keyword into this. Fine. These two things I have written. One is the, and well, again, that is the class JTC something I am writing here. There is a class called as the JTC as I am going to write it inside this. Fine. So, in class JTC, what else I am going to write here? See, like it's some suppose some name I am giving here for this one JTC. So, it's a class JTC which is in this case I will write here 11. Public static void main string of something called as the ARG I am writing. Well, I have written all this, and when after writing this, the important thing is that when my instance blocks are being processed and when exactly static blocks are being processed here. So, you can see if I will write int a is equal to 10, I am writing something called as the a is equal to 10. Again, well, I will write b is equal to something called as 20 and static int c is equal to, let us say I am writing 30. These all are the different types of variables I have written here. Are you getting it? And what correspondingly I will try to do here, see first, if I am creating a specifically one object of a class, so whenever as I am creating the object of a class, you can just have a look, and associated with this all, I have written here print ln of a I am writing, again that is the, well, I am writing here the b, and associated with this I will write it here the something called as the c. So, well, a, b and c I have written, and in the static block also I have written a, b and c. All of you are getting it or not? Okay. Now, when I have written all these sort of things, all these different types of members inside the class, as I have written all these things here. So, now you see, whenever as I am trying to create the object of a class, whenever as such I am trying to create any object of a class. So, as I have already discussed that whenever you create any object, first it will check whether the class is loaded or not. So, class is loaded. If not loaded, then while loading the class, first thing what it is going to do is going to allocate the memory for the static variable of a class, very first thing. And if it is allocated memory for only the static variable, and then after static block is being processed here. So, in the static block we are accessing these two members. What is these two members we are accessing? The one is instance variable I am accessing here, and the second one is what I am accessing? The static variable I am accessing, right? So, one which I am writing is the instance variable, second one is the static variable, both of the things, well, I have written inside this case. Fine. immediately after writing this both of the things here, now I'm trying to compile these all sort of things. What I will do now, I'll compile it here now. So E drive CD, I'm just going into that location. I have written all this, and now I'm writing JTC 11.java. You may see, you may find some errors here. You are getting some errors in these cases here. You are just getting some errors inside this case, in this particular one. Okay, this error is, hope you are able to understand that you are trying to access variable or instance variable of class A, of that corresponding class inside the class hello. These two variables what we have, you are trying to access inside the static context, that too directly. So already, as I have told you, that we cannot access it, we cannot write it here. Fine. So let me comment this point. I have commented this, I have commented this point, I have commented this line. But at the same time again, as I have already told you, that we can access indirectly. I am creating that object. All of you, I hope you are understanding it. If any question comes, anything is there, you can ask, right? Like the video, share at least on your Facebook pages and all other sort of things, so that other people can come to know. Okay. So in this one, I am writing few more things. h11.a, I'll write it here, and inside this also h11 dot something called as the b I am writing. These two things as I have written inside this. Fine. And when this both of these options as I am writing, so see, can you please comment what output we are going to get for this? Any answers? Tell me whether we will be able to access this or not. Yes or no? Reply me fastly in the chat box. Yes, now we can access it here. Now we can access it. Right. You got my point. So we are able to access it here. So see, some of you yesterday you were saying that memory is not allocated, because of that we cannot access. No, it is not the only reason, and the reason behind that particular one is that the memory is allocated, but maybe it is not able to find out the reference of this variable called as A and B. Hope you are understanding this. A and B reference which is there has not been allocated into these cases, and since it's not been allocated, then that is the biggest thing, that is the biggest problem in that case, and that's why we are not able to access here. So hope this is clear to you, instance as well as the static variable. Fine. Now you see one more thing here. I'll compile once again and I'm running it. You see here, the static block which is there is being processed only once. The static block which is there has been processed only once in this case, not more than once. The static block is being processed only once. In the same manner, here I am writing hello of h2 is equal to new of hello I am writing. Are you getting it? Hello of h2 is equal to new of hello I am writing. So these two objects we have created. And well, when we have created these two objects, so again you need to understand one more point. You see here, that is JTC of 1 we are getting the output. You see, twice you are getting this instance block processing, whereas only once you are getting this static block processing. Is it okay? Twice you are getting the instance block processing and only once you are getting the static block processing. So that is what, just all things what we have discussed yesterday, and that is too in the different forms we have discussed here. Okay. Now, one more small question as such I have from you all. See here, the question what as I am asking with you is, see, what is that question as I can, you can answer? The question very simple is, very simple question, that let's imagine that if I write a class, the class name, what as I am writing is the hello. The name of the class, whatever I have written is the hello, is the name of your class. Is it okay? All of you, just understand it. Yes, static block which is there will be loaded only once. Chirag, yes, you are right. The static block which is there will be loaded only once in that case. Fine. And next, in these cases here, you just, all of you should answer this question. Here I am writing this question. Shall I write it? Okay. So I'll write here one, I am writing here a example, and you tell me what should be the answer for this. I am writing final int a. Just I am writing like this. Final int a I have written here. And again I'll write here final int of ab is equal to ab, just I am writing. ab I am writing here. Are you getting my point? Final int of a I have written, and it's a very important interview questions, and many times you can get in the MCQs also. Very important. And this, if you are very clear, means if you are very clear with these sort of things, then only you will be able to answer this. Fine. So I'll do one more thing. What is that? Suppose I'll write one method void of m1 method I am writing here. Fine. SOP of A and SOP of B I am accessing here. Fine. A and B both I am accessing inside this case. Oh, understand it. Now my question to you all is that if I will call, are you able to see this question properly? Hope so. So my question to you all is, see, just concentrate on this, because question is that if I'll call this m1 method, let's say I'm creating one object here, h1 is equal to new of hello. This is very important question, friends. Very important question, guys. Okay. So I'm creating one object, and the object name is what? Hello. H1 is equal to new hello I am writing, and in that case here I am trying to print h1 dot, which is m1 method. Fine. Okay. Now my answer question to you all is what it is going to print. What it is going to print. Can you please tell me what it is going to print here? What output it is going to give? Yes, please tell me. If I will ask, see, if I am asking this question, so at the same time you should not do on your system also, right? That practice purpose, that practice task, you do it later on, but immediately you should not try it, and you should not do any cheating, correct? We cannot static variable in the instance method. Why we cannot do? Yes, we can do, man. Pramod Prajapati, we can easily access it. There is no problem. There is no problem with that. You can access it. I think error. Okay, those who are writing all these things, error you are writing or anything you are writing, can you please guys tell me the reason why there is going to be the error? सभी ट्राई कर करके बोलते जा रहे हो, है ना? सभी जो है ट्राई कर करके बोलते जा रहे हो, ऐसा ही है ना? सभी जो है ट्राई कर करके बोलते जा रहे हो, and then you are coming with the output. Fine. So my question, that's what, very good money, very good. I asked the question was that why it is giving the error? Why error? Yes, Abhishek Vasist, that is my question to all. Why error? See, do not consider this class as a pre-recorded video. In video, what will happen? There is no questioning, simply answer they will tell and it is gone. It is a classroom. It is a classroom. So it will be a classroom type of things itself, right? It is going to be okay. Final variable which is there, Chirag, you are right. You said what it is, right? That this final variable A as well as the B must be initialized. Must be initialized here. You are right. Must be initialized. Okay. So now I have one more condition with this. I have one more condition with this. What is that one more condition I have? Can you please tell me? The condition is I do not want to declare this variable or assign, sorry, declaration already I have done. I do not want to assign this variable here. I don't want to do this. Means I suppose I am writing here like this 10 and here I am writing 20. I do not want to do these. I don't want this to be done here. Now did you understand it? So the first option of you all have given the very correct answer that it will give the error. Yes, of course it is going to give the error. Very good. Now my question is not that only that it is going to give the error or not or what. Getting it? My question to you is, boss, I wanted to initialize, but I do not want to initialize at the time of declaration. I want to initialize it later on. Yes. So how will I do this? It's a very initial question. It's a very initial question. How shall I do this? Now you see here in this, in example I am writing here something. Let's see to the example. Let's get into the example. You will understand in a better manner. Here in this, more things here. What is the few more things as I am trying to write in writing? Okay, let me just do some modification in this only, or let me write one more new example. Say I am writing one more example on this. Guys, please share it, like it. And inside this one, I am writing int A, int B. Just have a look. This one I am making it as in static. Here is the void of show I am writing. I'll write here println. Show inside which class? I am writing inside the class hello. And well system.out.println. I am writing few more things here. So A as well as the B I am writing inside this. Say here. One more class JTC something called as the 12 I am writing. And here I'll do one more thing here. What is that I am going to do now? Hello h1 is equal to new hello h1 dot called as show method you are doing. Okay. So here JTC something 12 dot Java I am writing it, and as well as again I am saving it. Okay, I have saved it here. Now guys, tell me what is the output of A and B. In this case, what output you are going to get of the A and B? Can you please tell me? Yes. What output you are going to get of the A and B? In this case, the output what you are going to get here is, I'll write 12 dot Java here, and in this one I am writing few more things here. What is that few more things I am writing? Here I'll write it here this. So we, sorry, not this one exactly, it's in 12 I am writing. So we got the output here. See, the question here what I want to ask, boss, who have initialized this value to A and B? You have not initialized it. So somehow by default JVM has initialized the value called as 0 and 0 by default to its corresponding data type, and that's what it's been done here. But at the same time, when you put here the final, when you are writing here what? Final in this case. Whenever you are writing something called as the final. So in the case of final, what you are going to do? In the case of final, what you are going to get now output? See, if I am writing few things here and compilation is done, so see here what it is giving. Not initialized, some errors. Some errors you are able to see here or not? Guys, see, if you are concentrating on all these sort of topics, all these sort of things into this here, so you will understand it in a better manner. Are you getting my point or not? You will understand in a completely different manner, right? And in this, if you are getting any kind of questions, in this if you are getting any kind of doubt, you can please ask here. Fine? And you see here it is the error. Here it is giving the error. So from here, one thing which we have got it very clear, for the final variables you must have to initialize the value, and these values will not be initialized automatically by the JVM. JVM will not initialize the value to the final variables. Fine. You must have to do it. So what all different ways you have? Okay, let's see one thing. If I initialize it here some value explicitly, I have done it here. Some value initialization I have done it here in this case. Okay. When I have done some value initialization in this case and again I am trying to run it, here I am running this output. What output did I got? See, 10 and 20 I am getting it here. Okay. We are getting that output. But now next question what I have is, I do not want to initialize the value at the time of declaration. Now you tell me what is the way here. I don't want to initialize. This is very important interview question in this. Very important. You could be asked. So now I don't want to initialize in this particular way, in this particular form. Is that all of you are there or not? Sleeping? Right. So here in this case, now I wanted to initialize it in a different way. So let's do one thing. The blocks which is there, these blocks, whatever as I am calling here, we will call this as an initializers also. We will call this as an initializers also. It is also called as initializers. So let me initialize it. See, I'll write here system.out. See, the block with this n number of different things we can do here. There are again IB in hello, and I am writing few more things here inside this. SB in which class now I am writing? Hello I am writing. Fine. So IB in hello and static block I am writing here, and inside this also I am doing. Okay. Now you are asking, so in which block should see? There is one more thing, that with the help of block the initialization process can be done. In the blocks we can perform this initialization. We can write that initialization. There is no problem at all. We can do this. Fine. But the problem here is main, what is the problem here is that in which you should do, in which one you should do it, in which block you are doing, static block or instance block you should do it. In static block shall I do it, or instance block we should do it? Can you please tell me? See, I have a very, let's go for this. Here, have a look. Yes, welcome back. In SB in hello, IB in hello. No, I am not asking that, Chirag. And Sumay, Mohanty, Rameshwar and all other people. First of all of you should reply. If you are replying, then only we will understand that there is some meaning of this class. Meaning of this class means all of you are extensively involved in this class. You are taking it seriously. Fine. And if you are not writing your answers, if you are not simply hiding yourself, I don't know what is there to hide. Okay. So if like that it is, then again I'll say there is no meaning of this, because you should be actively responding to all of the question. It's a very good question. See, all of you, if those who are very serious and those who have already studied the Java, see, even I am not getting a single correct answer. Both blocks we can do it. One answer we are getting from that both block. Okay, let's understand it. Let's discuss it. Means we should not only write the program and see the output, right? First analyze it. What could be, see, in order to become a good developer, you should first analyze the things. Not only the output always, compile and run, nothing like that. First you should analyze the code. Okay, this can give this kind of result. And if we are expecting that kind of result for that particular problem, and if the same kind of output is coming, then it means we are thinking correct. But at the same time, if you are not thinking in that way and your output is not again in that proper way, it means there is some problem. And we again need to think about all that, correct? So let's see here. Let's understand it here. Let's see. Here I'll write if suppose instance block. In case I am writing it inside the instance block. If I am writing it all these things inside the instance block, let's understand it here. So inside the instance block, A is equal to, suppose I am writing what? 10. A is equal to 10 I have initialized, and in the same block B is equal to 20 I have initialized. Imagine, just imagination I am asking you to do. Okay? Now if this is done, guys, can you tell me the output of this? Can you please tell me the output of this or not? Yes. Can you tell me the output of this one or not? If I will do it in this manner, so what is the output? Here, look, let's understand it here first. Again, I am only asking the question and only answering that question. And that question should exactly come, Abhinav Mishra, 10 and 20. 10 and 20? Why you are thinking like that, man? 10 and 20. Why? First, let me complete it. How we need to understand it first. See, nothing is, okay. The thing is, here, what we can understand here in this, if you are creating, let's say, object of the class. If I am creating any object of a class H1 is equal to new of hello I am writing. I have created one object. I have created one object, guys. Samajh rahe ho nahi? I have created one object, and now let's understand this object. What is that object is? So see, when you are creating this object, so first thing, what is going to process? See, if you are creating the object, so first it will load the class. Are you able to see that? Well, I'll write something like this also. It will load the class. First thing, it is going to load the class. And at the time of loading the class, it is just an understanding. It is just an understanding, guys. So it is going to load the class. Well. So first, static variable is going to get memory. Initialization, what you have done in that case, that is all that it is going to do. And second one is, again I'll write a static block. These two processing. And now in case, suppose, let's do one imagination. That here, if I have one more static block, and in this case I am printing A and B, if I am printing here, A and B, if I am printing here, what value of A and B you are going to get? Because even when you have created the object of a class, even when you have created a object of a class, so in that case also, if things has not been done previously, then first it will try to load what? What? Can you please tell me? Class. And loading the time what? It's static variable, static block. Okay, now static block, second thing I am talking about, what? Static block. So if this is short of a static block, which it is going to do, if it is something short of the static block, what it is going to do, understand it. So in static block, I am printing A and B, boss. A and B I am printing, fine. And if you have initialized inside the instance block, again Chirag, you are wrong, okay. So if you have initialized this inside the static block, instance block, so this instance block processing which is there will be done, this will be done after this static block. After this static block, first this will be done, and then after this is going to be done. This you should understand it very clearly. The first and very first thing what is going to be done, this is going to complete first static block, then it is instance block. So still it's not been initialized, so we cannot use it. Are you getting my logic? Guys, please comment in the comment box. Are you understanding what I'm? So if in this case also, don't you think it is going to give error? Okay, and now second case, let's understand it. I'm just giving you one point to think. Are you getting my point? And okay, first let's do it. Shall I do it or not? The one what I have told you, you should first understand this also. What as just now I have explained it something here, right? So let me explain to you. Let me explain to you. See here, I'll do one thing. That I'm going to do now. In the instance block, I'm writing A is equal to 10, B is equal to 20. Well, I'm doing one more thing, boss. Here I'm trying to print maybe A and in the same way it is going to write, I'm going to write the B here. So A and B both I have written here. Well, and after writing, now let's see here, I am just running this program again. Shall I get now also error? Please reply me. Shall I get again the error or not? Yes, can you please explain this? Now I hope you are getting the things. Now I am running this program, you will automatically understand the things. Let's write it here, the 12. See boss, again we are getting the error. Here we are getting again that error. And now you have to explain me what error as I am talking about. Now you should explain me why I am okay. Now I am doing a very small changes into this. Hope you are observing this code properly. So I'll do one more thing here. The one which I am going to do here is A. Whenever as such I have written A, so let's first come first because the B which is there is the static variable and definitely it can be accessed inside this. At this time I am commenting it, and the B which is a static variable I am writing it inside the B here. Let's say something I have written it inside this, and when I have done it here, I am again compiling this code. See, A cannot be referenced from the static context. Definitely, boss, we cannot access A here. Correct? Are you getting any error? Are you getting any problem in this? Well, I have written all these things now. And once I have written it, here you just have a look. See how things are working now. Is it fine now? So remember one point. Remember one point. What is that point you need to remember? The point what you need to remember is, if it is a static final or instance final variable and you have not initialized at the time of declaration, if you have not initialized at the time of declaration, are you people enjoying it or not? Are you getting some knowledge, or means the time whatever you are giving, are you getting against that something or not? Write it in the chat box. Okay. remaining all fine. So here the best idea is what, and the so now I am writing what I am just suggesting to you all. What I am suggesting to you all is, let's see, if it is an instance final variable, it is an instance final variable, and you have not initialized at the time of declaration, so trying to initialize that into the instance block itself. And if it is a static final variable, then try to initialize that variable in the where? In the where? In the static block. So static final variables inside the static block, because the processing of that static final will be done accordingly. And if it is an instance variable, so it also should be done into that only. Pramod Prajapati, what you want to ask, man? Please tell me so that I can reply. To block against. I'm not understanding your question. What your question is? Write it something in different form. So hope you are okay with this concept. Any doubt in this? Anything? Any question? Any doubt? Any sort of thing you have? You can please ask. If you have any sort of doubt, any questions, anything regarding this, you can please ask. Do you have? No questions. Fine. So for today, I'll be just finishing my class here itself, and if any other further question is there, any doubt you have, you can please ask. And guys, again I'll say, next we will be meeting on Monday, and Monday on the same time, which is 9 o'clock to 10 o'clock, and aptitude class will be there from the 6 o'clock to 7:30, right? So we'll be meeting again on that day itself, and all other sort of things, right? So if any question, anything comes, you can please let me know, or else you can just like it, share it, subscribe it, press the bell icon, share it with your friends, in your college groups, in your friend circle. Yes, there will be the class, right? So, well, so we will see again on the Monday, and thank you guys, thank you for coming. Good night to all of you.